up in the pen, you can't shake that. All the way gassed up, full tank, man, moving too quick. Keep the cameras in the playback. Dang, so tell me how you feel with it. You put a lid on it, I ain't got no chill with it. This right here your problem, you gon' have to deal with it. Lay it on the line, high risk, that's the meal ticket. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at, never fall back. No lies, no facts, we gon' stay right where we at. We ain't never fall back. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back. We ain't never fall back. And you can find me where I'm at. We ain't never fall back. Been way down, never falter. Came with the hands out, get them off us. I'm 24/7 in the office. Pay attention cause I ain't repeating offers. Yeah, never met a man I've been scared of. Careful, you gon' get exactly what you asked for. Careful, whatever you bring me getting handled. I answer to no one, I don't need a hassle. Yeah, we ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. We ain't never fall back. Hold our ground where we at. Never fall back. We ain't never fall back.
New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics, officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Good morning, Dolphin fans! How's everybody doing? It is Friday morning, October 20th, 2023, ladies and gentlemen. That is right. I am your host, Ali the Persian. Yes, I am back after a week hiatus with some stuff going on. I am back. Top of the Tailgate is back. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. We'll go ahead and get that banner going. So make sure you hit like and subscribe. We're back, baby. We're going to have a good show today. There's a couple things I want to talk about. Some stuff I want to talk about that happened over the week. Yeah, make sure you hit like and subscribe again. But before I do so, let's get the rundown done. Sorry, I can't even speak today. But yeah, check out some of our other stuff. We got El Capitan show, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Sometimes it goes Sundays too, calling the games. We got Color, Coffee Cuppy and the Coffee Color. You got, myself on top of the tailgates. We're all over the place, really. I've been on other shows as well this week. In addition to it, you got Shake Money with the drive time and the smoke lounges. And then you got Lewis doing the same thing on the drive time smoke lounges. You can even find him doing, Twitter spaces and all over the place, creating havoc and whatnot. And don't forget about KP and the fantasy talk, right? Had a really good fantasy night last night with my defensive player, putting up over 25 points, so I can't wait to talk about that. In addition, last week, if you didn't know, my fantasy team won again, so now I'm 3-3 on the record, so that's pretty good stuff. In addition, don't forget Crypto show is good Mondays, and I believe he goes Thursdays too, so check out Crypto show. And then Tonk's TMI Tuesdays. That's right, TMI Tuesdays is fun stuff. Check out Tonk. The OG is back. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, turn on the notification bell. There's a lot of content going to be thrown at you this season, so you definitely don't want to miss it. In addition, if you like the content, you want more of it, maybe become a member. There's 3 different memberships we have. We have Amigos, Familia, and MVP. It's like super inexpensive. I want to say Amigos is like $2 or $3 a month, right? And you get exclusive content. You get certain emojis that you can banter with. You don't want to miss that stuff, so check that out. If you want to donate but you don't necessarily want to become a member, we also accept Cash App, Venmo, Super Stickers, Super Chats. All that money that you guys donate, we really appreciate it. It goes a long way. Really, 100%ly, all that does is keeps the content afloat. That's what we're here for. You'd be surprised how much money we invest to bring this stuff to you, and that helps kind of alleviate it a little bit. So we really appreciate everybody and all of the TFTG faithfuls. As you may have seen on the thumbnail, the usual suspects, right? I just named all the usual suspects, but let's talk about the usual suspects. Actually, before we talk about that, I cannot forget, I'm kind of rusty. Shout out to our affiliates. We got Fanatics, right? Make sure you use the link below, helps out the channel. Fanatics, officially licensed everything. Get all your awesome gear like this hat and everything else from them. Also, don't forget Backroom Collection. Backroom Collection, you get some really cool canvas artwork that you can hang anywhere and everywhere. So definitely check that out. And then you guys also have Doobie Energy Drink. It's all crash, no smash. It's all smash, no crash. Wow, I said that backwards. But yeah, definitely check out Doobie Energy Drink. You're gonna need all that energy to keep up with the content we're throwing at you. So definitely check them out. They're infused with some vitamins and minerals and all natural stuff that helps supplement the body. Their flavors are pretty good. If you don't take my word for it, check out Shake Money. But yeah, check out all the links below. Check out tftgnetwork.com. The awesome merch store there. Check out everything. If you want to save 10% off of Doobie or Backroom Collection, use code TFTG at checkout. And also join the newsletter on tftg.com, and you can save 10% off of your first order. Now that being said, shout out to the people that's in the chat. We got the usual suspects up in here. Jonathan Lizama, how's it going? Brian's Brains, Jay, always here. Hungry Howie's for breakfast. I didn't even know they had breakfast at Hungry Howie's. Chris Larson, Fins Up, Dolphin Don, how's it going? I know haven't been around lately. Been kind of busy. To give you guys a side note, TFTG crew, almost the whole crew, went to the game last Sunday. A lot of fun. El Cap and I did a lot of shots. We had moonshine being passed around. It was good. It was a good time. Grilled up some really good Persian shish kebabs and burgers and dogs and stuff. And I can't wait to do it again. And shout out to everybody. I said it earlier in the week, but shout out to everyone that showed up at the TFTG tailgate. We had Kyle, Adam Sikowski, Miss Pam, Joe Rist. A lot of people came, and shout out to all of them. Microwaved it. Okay, all right. Well, I thought you were talking they actually served breakfast, but leftover pizza. Hell yeah, man. Howie's leftover pizza I've had. It's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. So definitely recommend that, Jay. Pretty good stuff. But yeah, I haven't been around. It was like having a hangover the day after the game. But then I've had some personal things going on. Been really busy at work and stuff, and just couldn't get my body right. So I had to take the week to really get the energy going, especially for tomorrow. I don't know if I will go tomorrow. Tomorrow is a special day for my family, so I have to see. Well, I might have to see if some of the boys can take over again. I promise I will be doing late night exhale soon. I promise that. It'll probably be the next week that I will be able to do it. I just it's been a very busy time. If you know me personally and my family and stuff, this time of the year is very busy for me. A lot of birthdays, a lot of holidays and special events, and like my parents. Shout out to my parents, by the way. Happy anniversary, mom and dad. That's right. This yesterday was their anniversary, so shout out to them. But yeah, it's been one hell of a ride the past couple days, and going into the holidays. The holiday season is tough for me. That's the reality of it. Speaking of tough, we got a tough schedule coming up. We got a big time player team that we got to go up against this week. We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about a couple of different things. Shout out to Dolphin Dynasty. Says, I feel you, Ali. It's only natural to lose energy when your plate gets full like that. Yes, you naturally lose it. Let me tell you. And plus, you have to understand, I love my Dolphins so much, right? And when I go to games, I exert so much energy at the games. I'm yelling and screaming. Haven't been caught on camera like that super fan from the Chargers game, which there's some speculation about that. That's kind of weird. We might talk about that today. I don't know. But let's just put it this way. Every play, every minute of the game, I'm yelling, screaming, calling players out, high-fiving fans. I mean, it's a shout out to the fans that sit near me. I'm surrounded by a bunch of season ticket holders. I see them all the time, but shout out to them. So definitely. Oh yeah, holidays are expensive. I do understand. I get what you're saying, Jay. For me and my family, especially my wife, if you know her, she really goes out of her way to pre-plan. Let's just put it that way. So that's what she did. Anyway, let's keep it going. I'm kind of tired, so I'm sorry. Keep up with me here. Let's see what else we got going on. So let's take care. Color's not here, unfortunately, and not sure if, I don't know if my texts are not going through to him or what, but I haven't heard from him, so hopefully he joins. Might be a little bit later. But let's talk about Cause for Cleats. We'll start off with that. So I'm going to do my coffee review right this moment. Cause for Cleats. So today's Cause for Cleats, and actually before we do that, it's currently 76 degrees in Miami. Today's high of 83, low of 68. 15% chance of rain this morning. So, yeah. So check that out. But here we go. Today's Cause for Cleats is Thielen Foundation. Yes, Adam Thielen's foundation. Their mission is with an overarching theme on youth development. The Thielen Foundation aims to create programs that will equip and empower kids to reach their full potential in life. Adam Thielen is an American wide receiver that plays in the NFL for Minnesota Vikings. Adam and his wife, Caitlin Thielen, found the Thielen Foundation in fall of 2018 to help serve and educate and inspire those in need. Whether on the field or in local community, the Thielens have been overwhelmed by love and support that they have received from the Minnesota community, both growing up and during Adam's playing career. Because of Adam and Caitlin have felt compelled to give back to the community that has given them, both of them, so much over the years. As a result, the Thielen Foundation was formed. Thielen Foundation aims to create programs that serve, educate, inspire individuals so they're equipped and empowered to reach their full potential in life. Our motto, Achieve Your Full Potential, is guiding principle lived out by Adam every day and meant to inspire and motivate individuals to overcome challenges and adversity so they're able to tackle some of life's biggest goals, right? So dollars donated, just so you know, since 2018 has been over $2.9 million. That's how much money that they have had donated towards their cause since 2018. They're involved with a lot of different companies that donate towards this. There's a lot more about their programs. To give you an example, some of the programs that they offer. So they have the Change Through Sport, Masonic Children's Hospital, Brooklyn Center High School, Salvation Army, football champs. There's different scholarships and donations that they do. Mental health answering questions. They do a lot of different things. Definitely check out the ThielenFoundation.org for more information on how to donate, about their programs, anything that you want to know about this foundation. Check them out. Again, that's ThielenFoundation.org. All right, that's our cause for cleats for today. Let's see what else we got going on here. I want to make sure I shout out to everybody. We got trade offers. Yeah, we'll see what the trade offers are. That's something that's coming about. I've heard some rumors about 2 players specifically. These are just rumors. I haven't heard anything like concrete. It's just something that's been talked about within the Dolphins community. I've heard rumors that, and this is actually maybe true about the player being wanting to be traded, or at least traded is in trade scenarios. Burns from Carolina, he is in trade scenarios. Plays defensive end, I believe. I don't know if we need a defensive end. However, would like to see a little bit more productivity. So if we have to trade somebody, I'd consider it maybe for Agba or somebody like that. In addition, another player I've heard, and this is just a rumor. I heard this on a Twitter space, and I haven't seen it anywhere. But supposedly Derrick Henry might be traded. That's another name to look at. I know people in the past have really wanted him here. You know what I mean? To back up Mostert. I don't know if he'd be a backup, but yeah, imagine you're running into December with Mostert, Derrick Henry, and then A-Chain at the same time. I'm sorry, but that's like Voltron on its own when you look at a running back room. Just being honest. Yeah, that's true. There's not a lot of players that do fit us. I do agree with that, Jay. What's up, Flava Jay? How you doing? I want to shout out to you too. Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's the players that we bring in. I don't see how they fit, but then when you see them fit, kind of interesting. So we'll definitely talk about that. I want to talk about what in the world, though. Let's actually, before we get into that, let's go to what in the world, right? Everybody's favorite segment. Today's what in the world. I don't really have a lot to talk about. I know, we got the trade deadline. A lot of people are looking at, trades and stuff like that. So we'll talk. Maybe we'll see about if we talk about that. I got some articles I want to read. But we'll talk about what in the world. And this one is only because it hits dear with me. Everybody that knows me personally, knows me here on the Twitter Spaces, knows me here on YouTube, knows I'm a big Ohio State fan, right? And any chance I get to take a shot at that horrible team up north. Horrible team. That's what we'll say. I can't even say their name because it's like the the one person you can't say his name. It's like bad juju, right? The Michigan Wolverines are possibly taking a play out of Bill Belichick's book, and what I mean by that is, what do people call Bill Belichick around here? Bill of cheats. You know what I mean? Well, they're under investigation now. Michigan Wolverines are officially under investigation. The NCAA investigating allegations of sign stealing by Michigan. Harbaugh denies knowledge of the involvement. However, Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh denied the knowledge or involvement in plotting to steal opponent play calling signals by sending representatives to their games, and said he would fully cooperate with the NCAA investigation into the allegations against the program. I do not have any knowledge or information regarding the University of Michigan football program illegally stealing signals, nor have I directed any staff members or others to participate in off-campus scouting assignments. Harbaugh said Thursday in a statement, "I have no awareness of anyone or on our staff having done that or having directed that action." The Big Ten also announced it had been informed of the investigation, but the conference provided no further details. This is according to the AP news. So very interesting, right? And ESPN just put out an article about this that identifies a specific person on the Michigan staff that is also a former Marine, from what I understand. In addition, they've identified him as the main person of interest. So it's not just a false allegation where, yeah, this team is doing this. We always banter that. We call them cheats. We always say this kind of stuff. But they've actually identified someone that definitely they believe has something to do with this, and are in full-fledged investigation mode. And according to the ESPN article, this has been going on since the cheating, I would say, or the sign stealing that they're saying, has been going on since 2021. What's interesting about that was the first year in several years that Michigan finally beat Ohio State. Just want to point that out there, Michigan fans. That was the first year you finally beat us after several years of losing. So, just gonna say, I don't know. I don't know if you guys did it or not, but they're investigating you, and there's some bad juju that could happen from that. I've seen teams in the past get blackballed really bad. Really bad. I remember, was it USC? If anybody can correct me in the chat, USC, I think, got blackballed like really bad by the NCAA for certain allegations that they had, for paying players or cheating and whatnot. They got blackballed, and stuff like this, it takes away from the integrity of the game. It can hurt your program. So I'm not gonna say you guys did it or not. I don't know. They'll figure that out. But that's some damning information that they already have somebody like person of interest, and they're already fully investigating it all. There's a video going around by the Rutgers coach. I can't think of his name. People were saying that it was just kind of an odd interview, the way he was saying things. Now I kind of see where it comes from, kind of, if it has to do with this. He said things like, yeah, some things are just not right out there. We're not playing right, so we gotta get that fixed. But there's just some things that are not right out there, and we just have to work through it. That's kind of weird to say about your team. It was kind of weird. So what's up, Adam? It was nice meeting you at the game, bro. Can't wait to see you again at another game. I know myself, Shake Money, and some other people, I believe, are going to be at the next game, the New England game. So definitely check that out. Come meet us. Come hang out with us. Have a beer with us. Be a lot of fun. But yeah, that's what in the world, right? What in the world is the Michigan Wolverines? What are they up to, right? I mean, it's pretty interesting. Harbaugh can't win unless he cheats. That's kind of crazy. I mean, it is kind of, he did have to go through a rough time as a Michigan coach before he started winning. And they do have a lot of talent. I know there was some issues earlier on this season where they were talking about him being suspended. because of certain recruiting things that they self-reported. Yeah, it's going to be interesting what happens. So we'll stay tuned. That'll be something that we'll develop and talk about. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Hang out with us. Put in some questions that you guys have during the show. Put it in the chat. I'd like to talk about them. So put them up. And today's coffee, just so you know, is a Kona coffee that I got. It's a Kona blend. It's not bad. I do have, oh, speaking of which, I do finally have the spicy Carolina Reaper coffee in hand, by the way. I have it in hand. I have grounded it. However, I kid you not, this actually happened. So I'm standing there, and my friend gives me the package, right? And my wife's there, and I open the package of this Carolina Reaper laced coffee that I've been talking to you guys about, that I'm gonna drink it live here on the show as a first reaction. And not even a second after opening it, the full air of the entire kitchen has this spicy, hot, heated aroma that made me start coughing on myself. Literally, like, you could, it was like I don't know if anybody has ever like tried to make salsa and homemade salsa, right? And you're taking the different types of peppers and you're frying them. The aroma or smoke or the stuff that comes, the steam that comes off that, you get that shit in your lungs, excuse my language, and you'll start coughing and even throw up or whatever. That's what I felt like. I was like, holy crap, I can feel how strong it is. Even after closing the package and taking it to a different room and airing the place out, the place still smells like Carolina Reaper peppers around here, to be honest. So no joke. Yeah, chili. I've had chili with Carolina Reapers. Yeah, it did wake me up. I'm not kidding. It cleared out our sinuses and everything. I was like, wow. But yeah, I had to make sure that I washed my hands and stuff before I touched anything else afterwards. So yeah, it was really interesting. So I can't wait to try that out for you guys. I was gonna do it today. I want color to be here for sure to take over the show in case I'm coughing up along. In addition, I found out that we're low on milk and creamer, so I got to make sure I have something because I got to go to work after the show. So I want to make sure I survive whatever I drink. So, but from what I'm understanding is this stuff is extra spicy. I'll give a shout out to the company that manufactures it. Come to find out, they have some other ones that are very interesting flavors. They have a mild spicy blend as well. They have something called Mexican barbecue. That one sounds interesting. They have another one that is more about like a dessert style. So definitely, I'll shout out the manufacturer and what they make and that kind of stuff. But my friend bought this. He wants me to review it. I know he does some of the pepper challenges with me, like the one chip challenge and stuff like that. It'll be pretty interesting. Make sure you all hit like and subscribe. Appreciate it all. Let's keep it going. So it is 6:30 in the morning. It's gonna be a tough morning to get through this today. I gotta get to work early right after the show. But let's talk about some articles that I got going on. This one's from Sports Illustrated. It's by Omar Kelly. Is Connor Williams or Liam Eichenberg the right play at center versus the Eagles? This is a big question. This came out about 7 hours ago. Will Miami roll the dice with Liam Eichenberg? Well, let's see what he had to say. Sometimes short-term pleasure leads to long-term consequences. But when we take a big picture look at our approach or decisions, we often ask ourselves, was it worth it? That's the question Connor Williams asked himself after forcing his way back into the field for the Miami Dolphins' 31-16 victory against the New York Giants and suffering a setback on his groin injury that forced him to sit out the previous week's 48-20 loss to the Buffalo Bills. In hindsight, I probably made it worse, but I was eager to get out there, Williams admitted Thursday after being shut down in last Sunday's 42-21 win over the Carolina Panthers because of lingering groin strain. I want to get out there, and I'm glad I did get out there and pushed it, but No, now I've got to heal it. Williams' groin strain is feeling good, which explains why Dolphins starting center was on the practice field Thursday, testing out the injury that forced him to be shut down for two separate occasions. I've had the opportunity to heal and rest what was going on, and now I'm day to day on it, Williams said, referring to his strain he initially injured in Miami's 70-20 win over the Denver Broncos. The question the Dolphins' medical staff and coaches must ask themselves is whether allowing Williams to play in Sunday's night's nationally televised game against Philadelphia Eagles, a showdown between Miami's resurgent offensive line. The unit Williams led was viewed as the best defensive front in the NFL. I'm sorry, in what's viewed as the best defensive front in the NFL would be wise. Williams knows the challenges that interior Miami offensive line would face without him, going up against Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, Jalen Carter, which is why he wants to get into the action. But it seems as if head coach Mike McDaniel is focused on the bigger picture, which is to get Williams, a 6-year veteran, healthy for the second half of the 2023 season and what Miami hopes to be a deep playoff run. That's why it's possible that Williams will be held out a couple of games, allowing the groin to subside. Would McDaniel feel comfortable starting Williams without him participating in a handful of practices each week, like Pro Bowl left tackle Teron Armstead did last season to play through his multiple injuries? It's definitely not ideal, Mike Daniel said last week, explaining he's open to possibility because of the center to quarterback relationship that Williams and Tua Tagovailoa have. Quarterbacks and centers are the starting point for the offensive operation and plenty of their decisions. Protection calls, middle linebacker identifications, tandems, work fellow offensive linemen directly correlate to the success and failure of the play. I don't think I would have been comfortable in the scenario last year with Connor. I think I would be comfortable with this year with Connor, and that speaks to him and his development and coaches helping them simplify a very complicated position. The Dolphins have confidence in Liam Eichenberg filling in for Williams for a third start at center. He showed drastic improvement from the first game at the position against Buffalo, a game where he allowed 2 sacks and committed a handful of penalties. According to Pro Football Focus, an analytics-driven site, Eichenberg was Miami's top-performing offensive lineman against the Panthers, which, like the Eagles, featured a forceful defensive front. Eichenberg has improved every opportunity he's had at center, and the Dolphins believe that could be a 2021 second-round pick, best position long-term. His first opportunity, you go out and you have to play in the environment up there in Buffalo. It's a great learning lesson. Next opportunity, you have to come home and really sink in things, offensive coordinator Frank Smith said, addressing Eichenberg's development at center. The growth at the position has been great for him, and we're very pleased with what he's been doing so far. I know that he'll never be satisfied with the work he's done because like all guys, you're always working to be at our best all the time. You're always going to remember the play or two that that you wish you could have improved on, but there's a whole other body of work of things we're really pleased with. As impressive as Eichenberg was last week, starting him in Sunday night's game would be like throwing in a novice swimmer into the deep end of the pool with 12-foot depth, according to Omar. It could teach us Eichenberg's ready to swim or might need to call the paramedics. It's either that or put Williams onto the field and chance him suffering yet another setback. Ooh, these are all good points that Omar makes. To be honest, I really feel that I like Connor Williams playing because obviously it gives us a better chance, to be honest, at a really strong defensive line. But then again, Eichenberg did show was really good against a strong defensive line that Carolina has, and Carolina does have a strong defensive line. They're really burnt elsewhere, to be honest. So that's something to think about. I don't know. This is going to be really interesting what happens. I personally want to save him for the second half of the season. I really feel like we always tend to get burned in the second half of the season, the December push, if you want to call it. We do have a bye week coming up, actually. I know that. Let me pull that up real quick because I want to verify that really quick when our bye week is, or if somebody wants to put it in the chat, they're more than welcome to. Here we go. So our bye week is what? We got the Eagles game, then we got Patriots, Chiefs, and then we got the bye week, right? I don't want to have him healthy for the Chiefs game, to be honest. That's the game that I would really like to have him healthy at. The Eagles. The Eagles is an interesting one. The reason being there's a lot more going into that game. I think this game, there's been some other mainstream media guys I've listened to recently. Orlovsky says this game means more to the Eagles than it does than the Dolphins. He's actually not wrong. It does mean more to the Eagles, to be honest. What I think also with this is that winning the Eagles game would be a staple win for this season, right? It would prove a lot of the haters wrong. It would prove a lot of the doubters wrong and whatnot. And it would solidify our position in this season. But at what cost is it worth it, right? You lose your starting center. That means you have to go the rest of the season against some tough opponents. We still have the Chiefs to play. We still have the Commanders to play. We still have the Cowboys to play, right? I put the Commanders in there as a tough opponent, even though they're not necessarily the best. They don't have the best of record right now, but their defense is still tough, right? And that's kind of what I'm worried about. Ravens' defense is still tough, so that's kind of why I put that out there. And we have the Bills game at the end of the season, right? So these are games I don't want to lose him for. We want a deep playoff run. We want our team to maintain their lead in the division as well as in the AFC, and we need to keep that going. That's my opinion. Now let me go back to here. Why I meant that the Eagles game is an interesting one. Let's actually talk about that real quick, and let me bring up, where did I see it? Analyzing the Fangio factor of the Eagles game, right? And this is by Alan Popar, just so you know. And I know there's been some people around these parts that have been disappointed or underwhelmed when it comes to Vic Fangio and our defense, right? I get that. But I kind of think you got to read between the lines of what this defense is doing. They brought in this defense to manage games, it seems like, not necessarily to dominate games. I think that what they're doing is they're doing just enough to manage the game, keep it within reach, so it gives the offense a little bit breather that they know that they can come out and score when they need to. I think that's the philosophy they took for this. You could kind of see that with the lack of defensive players that they brought in during the offseason. We didn't really get the big defensive tackle that we needed, I think, to bolster the defensive tackle room. We didn't bring in the types of linebackers we thought we would, so that didn't happen. There's some things to it. Let's see what Alan has to say, though. Vic Fangio makes no secret of his affinity for the city of brotherly love, and he'll be back in Philadelphia this weekend when the Miami Dolphins take on the Eagles on Week 7 Sunday night game. The the veteran defensive coordinator will be trying to stop an offense he was hired to help with his insights before the last Super Bowl. A job he obviously did very well, considering the Eagles scored 35 points, albeit in the 38-35 loss. See, that's something else on why Vic Fangio's defense, having him as a defensive coordinator, really makes sense. People don't forget about that. He was hired to help the offense to pinpoint weaknesses of defenses, right? So he's watching defenses all year long, seeing what they do. That helps McDaniel. He's talking to McDaniel's ear saying, run this play, run that play. You know what I mean? Those or run these types of plays versus this type of defense or whatever. You know, those are the types of things I like seeing because it means the defensive coordinator and the offense or whoever's play calling the offense can work together, and it's almost like a cheat code. You know what I mean? Kind of like that kind of a thing. That's my opinion. Let's keep it going. So, and for those who might think that the Dolphins would have an advantage because of inside knowledge, Vic Fangio, and this goes against what I was saying, might have gained last year when he also had frequent unofficial conversations with then defensive coordinator Jonathan Gannon. The man himself was quick to dispel that notion. Asked what kind of advantage the Dolphins might have because of the familiarity with the Eagles, Fangio said, not a lot, because I was giving them more information than they were giving me. It's kind of the way it turned out. So if there's any advantage, if there's any advantage to be had by me being there last year, it is in their favor. Interesting. Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni said of the same thing this week. We didn't give him all the secrets. I asked him for help. He was giving us information and not us giving him information. Obviously, when he was around last year during the end of the season, that was a unique opportunity to have a guy help us look at some different things, the way a defensive coach perspective on it. Then Jonathan Gannon being able to bounce some things off of him, and me being able to bounce some things off of him as the head coach. So I really value the relationship that I was able to develop with Coach Fangio. Great person, great football mind. We know they're going to have our hands full with Vic Fangio's coach defense, which we have obviously this week. Huge Phillies fans. I'm hoping he's a little distracted, but a really good person, really good coach. Value the friendship we have, the time that we spent together last year. So this dispels any notion that there's going to be any type of advantage. However, just want to point this out. Defensive coordinator for the Eagles is a protege of Vic Fangio. He coached alongside Vic Fangio with the Bears, I believe it was with the Bears, Coach Desai. And they run a very similar philosophy when it comes to defense. So he may not have the advantage, so to speak, but he understands the philosophy, and that can help. I just want to point that out there. The other thing is that our offense and how our team is built is somewhat similar to how the Eagles are built. They have similar things going on. It's going to be a very interesting game. Very interesting. You have two quarterbacks that come from the same program out of college. They have history together, so you got the storyline, you got the defenses. It'll be really interesting to see what happens. There's already some injury reporting stuff that we're going to talk about, actually, that the Eagles have to deal with. A big one on their offense. So we're going to see what happens there. But yeah, there's a lot to be talked about regarding this game. So let's keep it going. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Just trying to see if there's any other important things in this article I can talk about. It goes on to say, as Fangio mentioned Thursday, his professional coaching career began in Philadelphia as an assistant coach for the Philadelphia Stars of the short-lived USFL in 1984. A native of Dunmore, Pennsylvania, Fangio enthusiastically pointed at a reporter wearing a Philadelphia Phillies at one of the recent media events. I grew up in Philadelphia, fan in all sports, diehard, used to when the Phillies were on the West Coast and I'd be late at night. I had a transistor radio in my bed and listen to the game on the radio. So I was a diehard Phillies fan and Eagles fan growing up, and got my first job in pro football there back in the USFL when the Philadelphia Stars. And so Philly has a special place for me. That, however, doesn't mean the game is more meaningful to Fangio, at least based on what he says, nor the fact it matches 2 of the 5 teams tied for the record in the NFL at 5-1, facing each other in prime time. No, it's 1 of 17, Fangio said. It's no different than our last 2 games against Giants and Panthers, in that it's an NFC opponent. So the weight on the schedule and standings is the same. It just happens to be being played in a bigger stage on Sunday night. But in the final analysis, it's a game 7 of 17. Of more concern, Fangio is dealing with was a very talented Eagles offense, one that features perhaps the best offensive line in the NFL. Has 2 great wide receivers, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, and also has a borderline unstoppable short yardage play, the famous tush push, or brotherly shove, as it's called. First off, you start with their offensive line, Fangio said. They've got really good players in the O-line. It's probably the best offensive line in the league with talent. With a talent standpoint, they got size, experience, continuity. 4 of the 5 starters have been 4 of the 5 starters for 2, 3, 4 years now. They do a great job. They're extremely well coached by Jeff Stoutland. They've got a good slew of backs, and slew of backs that they are running by committee, and then you throw in, by the way, the quarterback might keep it and run it himself, so it's very assignment from their it's a very tough assignment from just their talent level, just the way that they've been coached. He's not kidding, and he didn't even mention the receivers here, right? They got Devonta Smith, who's on the injury report. We're going to talk about that shortly. And then you have A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown can take it to the house when he wants, right? That guy I think he's a beast, really, in my opinion. We do have a tall task. We got to play smart defense. We need to stop their run. They got 2 guys that I think are really good running backs when they're healthy. Swift, and they also have Gainwell. They also have Rashad Penny, who I think is more of their short yardage kind of guy. But they got to make sure that they do what they do and make sure they stay tough against this team. Make sure you hit like and subscribe if you're just joining us. Good morning, Lewis. Come on up if you want, man. Come on up if you want. You got Estefan. How you doing, man? Shekel? I guess that's how you say it. Shalom and fins up, y'all. That's right. I hope I said that your name right. I apologize if I didn't. Fins up to you. Trying to see if there's anybody else I missed. I want to make sure shout out to everybody. Jags Junkie. Wow, what's up, Roach, man? How you doing, man? We miss you around these parts. So, good game yesterday. If you guys missed Thursday Night Football. Heartbreak City for New Orleans, right? Missed that open tight end. Couldn't believe it. It was a hell of a comeback. Right when you think the Jags had control, nope. They kept themselves. New Orleans kept themselves in the game. Kept pushing, and I honestly thought they were going to have it at the end. They had 2 minutes left, and they had the ball in hand. Yeah, heartbreaking situation for that tight end. I feel bad for him. I think his name is Monroe. I think his name is. Really feel bad. Gotta keep your eyes on the ball and complete the catch. That's the reality of it. And yeah, it was tough loss. Things still are pending downwards for the New Orleans Saints. Will they bring it? Will they come out of the woodwork? Who knows? Believe it or not, even though they were 3-3, they were 1 game out of first place in their division, so they're not too far off. But right now, it's been not so good. Before this game, they had only scored maybe 1 touchdown in. I want to say they said it was 25 red zone appearances. It was weird. So, yeah, I understand, Roach. I'm right there with you, man. I've been working a lot lately, trying to make the bread too. So that's kind of where I've been this week. This is my first show this week. It's been pretty bad. I've been so tired, bro. All I do is wake up, go straight to work, right? Work all day, even longer, and then when I get off work, because of my got the kids and everything, oh my god, it's so draining. So very draining. But yeah. So let's keep it going. We will, get that money, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Let's keep on talking about our Dolphins, though. Let's see here. Dolphins starters return to practice, preparing for the Eagles. This one's according to Omar Kelly. The Miami Dolphins had 4 of the team's starters return to practice Thursday as the team continued preparations for Sunday night's nationally televised game. Cornerback Xavier Howard, center Connor Williams are both nursing groin injuries, and fullback Alec Ingold, who has been nursing a foot injury for the past 2 weeks, all were at practice. And Kendall Lamb, the offensive lineman who replaced Teron Armstead as the starting left tackle for 4 of the 6 games, returned to the team after missing practice Wednesday to handle a personal issue. Okay, that was a personal issue, not a big deal. However, linebacker Andrew Van Ginkel, who leads the team with 4 sacks, that's right, 4 sacks, wasn't spotted during the media viewing period during Thursday's practice. His status likely will be clarified later in the afternoon when the injury report comes out, but Van Ginkel was not on Wednesday's injury report. There has been an update in that. I'm hearing that it was due to a personal issue. And let me just verify. It looks like one of his kids may have been sick or something. That's what I'm hearing. I also got, according to the injury report, what it says on there is that it was due to illness, but it doesn't specify if it's his illness, someone in his family. It could be somebody or one of his kids or somebody that might be ill and had to go to the doctors or something like that. I get it. If it was me, my kids, I'd do the same thing. So shout out to them. All right. Let's keep it going. Shout out to Bill's fake crowd noise. Wow. Okay, keep it kosher, please. Keep it kosher. All right. I'm not going to say that out loud here, but yeah, keep it kosher. All right. Let's see here. Let's keep it going. So, could Howard play Sunday? That is a big question. And we need him, to be honest, especially with the receivers they have over there. The return of Howard, a 4-time Pro Bowl selection, could be a key factor in the game because the Eagles feature the best receiver duo Miami likely will face all season, A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith, who have combined for 70 receptions, which they have turned into 1,005 yards and a touchdown. Howard, who had 76.5 opponent passer rating when targeting this season, is Miami's best defender in the secondary. That passer rating is the best in Miami's secondary, which is the NFL's 6th worst passer rating, 98.9, for opponent quarterbacks this season. If Howard doesn't play against the Eagles, Miami could be forced to use one of the team backups, Justin Bethel, Perry Nickerson, or rookie Cam Smith, in a starting role. The Dolphins could activate Nick Needham off the pup. He's practiced for the past 2 weeks, but defensive coordinator Vic Fangio hinted that he might need more time coming back from the Achilles injury he suffered last October. Well, Connor Williams missed a 2nd straight game. Williams has been nursing a groin injury for the past month. We talked about it in the last article. He missed his 2nd game of the season last Sunday. The Dolphins are committed to letting his groin injury heal so it won't impact the performance in the final months of the regular season. If William doesn't play this week, Eichenberg likely would start this 3rd game of the center. Last week, Eichenberg redeemed himself by playing a solid game, making a significant improvement from the dismissal performance in Miami's 48-20 loss versus Buffalo. According to Win, it's Eichenberg's leadership that has helped the offensive line settle in, becoming one of NFL's top performing units this season. Again, I'm going to repeat this so you guys did not mishear me. According to Isaiah Wynn, it's Eichenberg's leadership that has helped the offensive line settle in, become one of NFL's top performing units this season. Eichenberg's leadership. Who would have thought you would have heard that in the same sentence, right? Well, that's what players are saying, and I like to see that already. They are coming to support their center, whoever that may be. They're standing by his side. He's leading, and what he does and his improvement and his leadership and everything that he brings helps the offensive line keep going. And I like to see that. So I think Eichenberg has slowly but surely found his spot and his role in this offensive line. It may not be as a starter full-time, but it definitely is a capable backup at center. I don't think we need a backup center at all. I think we found him, to be honest. Just my opinion. He's done well enough. And this is no shade at Connor Williams at all, because I like Connor. I want him back more than anyone else knows. But we don't see none of that high snaps as much as you do with Eichenberg. Eichenberg, you don't see the high snaps very much, whereas Connor Williams, you saw that a lot more, at least once or twice every game. So, just going to be honest. According to Isaiah Wynn, he goes on to say he's getting us the right position at the right time, because of a lot of times we get different things sometimes during the game that we may not have been seen or we haven't seen in a while. When instead of Eichenberg, his ability to put us in the right spot has been good. So that's good to hear. That is good. So not only does he's starting to understand the offensive line and is getting better at getting his body right in the right position and everything, he's making sure everybody knows where to line up and what to look for as well. So that is really good. I like to read and see that kind of stuff. Let's go, Ike. Yeah, let's go. Trust me. Could this, and this is just really a question, not really a statement. Could Eichenberg be on his way to have a comeback of the year moment, for our team? Not necessarily for the whole NFL. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about comeback player for our team for this year. Somebody that, took the next step and you could see the development, went from 0 to something. You know what I mean? Eichenberg is slowly starting to do that, right? In my opinion. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, everybody. Really appreciate it. It's 6:59. We're almost at the 1 hour mark. Let's keep it going. Let's see what else we got here. Any more articles to talk about? That is pretty much all we got. It's a slow Friday for information, to be honest. Let's talk about let's go over the injury report. This is according to Thursday. We don't have the Friday injury report. The Friday one will be the most telling. But we had a lot of players practicing, so let's talk about it. Andrew Van Ginkel did not practice, as I said earlier, because of the illness, as it says here on the injury report. I've heard rumors that maybe his child is sick or something to that effect, or it's a personal matter. I've heard one of those types of things. Hold that thought. My cat is dragging something. What do you got there? Oh, that is weird. My cat, I thought, brought in a mouse or something from outside, and it was nothing but a rag of some kind from the kitchen. I'm like, are you serious? I never seen my cat just pick up a rag and go running with it. It's kind of funny. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, everybody. Yeah, definitely. I agree with you, Dolphin Don. It does speak volumes about our coaching staff. Let's keep going about the injury report. Xavier Howard had limited practice, as you heard. Alec Ingold did not practice to limited practicing. Kader Kahu has been practicing. He's, nursing some type of neck injury of some kind, but he has limited practice. Nick Needham is limited practice. Jalen Ramsey has been practicing. That was the biggest news this week. Connor Williams went from did not practice to limited practicing. Chase Claypool's had 2 full practices. He had, I guess, some type of knee issue as well, but he's had 2 full practice. Would this be a game that we see Chase Claypool start, unveiled into the fold? I kind of think so. I kind of think that the running game is going to be used a lot in this game, in my opinion. I think you're going to see, some Chase Claypool in that running game, at least running game formations, or maybe in the short yardage. Maybe he can become that short yard, possession style receiver where we can kind of hold the possession and not let what's his name, Hill and Waddle, take the intermediate routes. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Chase Claypool. I really hope they can really use him in this offense, and I want to see what he brings to the game, to be honest. Jalen Phillips also 2 full practices. I expect him to be playing without any problem, coming back from an oblique injury. And then you have Jeff Wilson, who had 2 full practices. I kind of think that they need him back as well with all the injuries that we've suffered with the running game, right? We had Brooks go down. I think Savon Ahmed and Mostert are going to be there. And then you got to have Jeff Wilson, in my opinion. He came back at the right time. So, got that going on. Then let's look at the Eagles, right? This is where things get kind of dicey for them. So they have Reed Blankenship, who did not practice Wednesday or Thursday. Lane Johnson, I believe he's one of their offensive tackles, did not practice on Wednesday. He had limited practice on Thursday. Bradley Roby, shoulder injury, did not practice at all. Devontae Smith, this is a big one. Devontae Smith is suffered a hamstring injury. He did not practice on Wednesday. He was very limited on Thursday. So we'll see what comes out. That's going to be a big story of what happens on Friday. Jalen Carter, defensive tackle. He was limited both Wednesday and Thursday. Dallas Goedert, groin injury. Groin injuries are going around. Everybody has a groin injury. It's almost like, when everyone, tattoos started becoming a huge thing, and everybody was getting a tattoo. Well, now everybody's getting a groin injury, right? It's like the NFL became Oprah. You get a groin injury, you get a groin injury, and you get a groin injury. That's basically what's going on here. You saw, what's his name? Derek Carr had a groin injury. Connor Williams has a groin injury. Dallas Goedert has a groin injury. Freaking Howard had a groin injury. Everyone has groin injuries. Darius Slay had limited practice, but he came back for full practice on Thursday. So that's interesting. Milton Williams, limited practice, then full practice on Thursday. Sidney Brown had full practice. Eli Ricks had full practices. And Marlon Tuipulotu, I think that's how you say that. He had full practice. So what's interesting is both teams have a lot of players on their injury report. Some starters, some depth players, but it's really interesting. Hopefully Andrew Van Ginkel can come back soon. I really, would love to have him for this game. We need him, to be honest. I need the run game, the rush defense to show up and really stop the run. Force Jalen Hurts to throw it, right? That's what I think we need to do in this game, in my opinion. In addition, you got guys like Alec Ingold, which I think adds to a lot to our run scheme. I think we need him back. We also have Xavier Howard, which I really need him back so we can make sure we're shutting down the wide receivers and everything. Especially if Devontae Smith plays or not. That's the big question. If he's playing, I really need Howard back. I really do. Because I don't know if we have enough support to hold down A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. That's just my opinion. So, what do you guys think? Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Put in the chat. Let's start answering questions. We got an hour to go. We'll end the last hour just talking about whatever you guys want to put. Put it in the chat. Put any subject. How's it going, DF? How you doing? So yeah, definitely put it in the chat. Tell me what you guys want to talk about. Anything. I'm looking to see if there's any up-to-date news that came out recently. Let's see here. Wow. Yeah, here we go. Let's see what we got. Which game is going to start along? Okay, which game will Ramsey be back? In my opinion, that is a good question. That is a really good question. My opinion is not popular because I know he wanted to be back. He said he was going to beat it by a month, and they were saying originally his injury would hold him out till either mid to late December, right? Well, I honestly think he's going to be ready to go by the bye week. That would mean he would start the Raiders game. That's my opinion. That's what I think will happen. I think we can manage in the Patriots game. I also think even in the Chiefs game we can manage personally. So, but I don't expect him to be back in this game at all. I think they're going to the motto has been all season that they slowly bring guys back, and I think that they're going to save him for the November to December push because that's when we need him the most. We need to win the games that we're supposed to win, and then take care of business with some of these other teams and whatnot. So, like for example, the Cowboys game or the Ravens game and the Bills game. Those three games, personally, my personal goal is to win all three. So take care of business against the other teams like the Titans, the Commanders, Jets, and Raiders. And then when you have these three games, then even if you can't win them all, let's say we win 2 out of the 3 or whatever, at least we were healthy and we had our guy at his prime for those games. So that's just my opinion. I'm looking more at the deeper playoff push than I am worried about who's playing in what game, to be honest. Is Wilson going to start alongside Mostert? Not at first. I think Savon Ahmed actually will get the backup to Mostert role to start alongside him. And then Wilson will be in this game. You're going to see little spurts of him. They might use him at the short yardage or even the goal line type of stuff. I think they could use him there. Who knows? I mean, to be honest, when he was traded here, he started right away. So, but we needed him at that point. So we'll have to see. That's a really good question. I honestly think the Miami Dolphins running game. I'm very impressed with the Dolphins because they were right pretty much on all the running backs. I was questioning the running back room. I thought that there was too many injuries or whatever. I didn't think the talent was like really that spectacular, to be honest. Outside of Mostert and A-Chain. But they've been impressive. Even Savon Ahmed scored a touchdown versus Carolina, right? And then you look at Brooks. Brooks was killing it out there. In fact, he stiff-armed one player who knocked another player out of his way in one of his runs. So shout out to Brooks. I hope he's okay and comes back soon, bro. Because he was one of those players that I was like, man, this guy is really showing us something. We finally have a really good running back room, in my opinion. So, but it'll be interesting. For people that can ask me, do I think we're going to bring another running back in? We might, but I really don't think so. I don't think so. I think they have it lined up that when they have it lined up who they can hold down the fort till A-Chain comes back in November. So that's what I think. Come on, more questions. Put the questions in the chat. I know there's people that have questions here. Oh, Van Ginkel had mentioned a few times. Supposedly he has a personal issue. That's what his wife stated. Let me actually go to her Twitter, because I believe Here it is. Let me see what she put here, because supposedly so this was put 17 hours ago, right? And she put on her Twitter, "It's tough to see her kids hurting. Thankful they seem to be on the mend." So I guess their kids are sick, and he had to maybe go to the doctors with the kids. So hopefully they get better. Yeah, shout out to the Van Ginkel family, and hope the kids are okay. So Dolphin Don's already giving predictions, 42 to 38 Fins. Well, I do think I did say something similar. I did say it was going to be a shootout in this game. I see it lining up that way. So I agree with you, Dolphin Don. I'm going to say I think my prediction was very similar to yours. It is going to be a shootout. Both teams are offensive heavy, and their defense are, even though they're kind of similar, the philosophies are the same. One you could say is, better. People may say, "Oh, they do this better than us," or whatever. It doesn't matter. The philosophy is the same. So I think, in that retrospect, I think that's where the advantage for Vic Fangio or or their defensive coordinator has on the offense. They know where the weak points are, and vice versa. So that's why I think the offenses are really going to kill it this game, to be honest. So I'm trying to see if there's any more up-to-date news going on. Okay. Trying to see if there's any info. Kind of too early in the morning if there's any up-to-date news at this point, but sometimes you get stuff after the 7 o'clock hour. So that's what I'm trying to find out. Let's see here. What's this? No, that's nothing new. We already know about the Saints losing last night. It was heartbreaking. Yeah, I don't really see no, that's nothing new there. Oh, what's this? What is this? Nothing. Yeah, there's really no news as of right now. So what they're talking about now is Adam Schefter's reported last night. It now shapes up as Bears undrafted free agent Tyson Bagent versus backup QB the Raiders decide to turn to, either veteran Brian Hoyer or rookie Aiden O'Connell. So it looks like it's going to be the battle of the backups in that game. That'll be very interesting, to be honest. We'll see what happens with the Bears. I don't really expect too much from them because of their who they got as their backup. Yeah, no really big news as of right now. Let's see if we got any more questions. Come on, put your questions in the chat, please. Let me make sure I'm getting the chat, because there was an issue the other day. We were not getting our chat streamed in StreamYard properly. Let's see here. Yeah, see, there's a lot more chat in YouTube than there is in the StreamYard. So let me see here. Will Ginkel play this week? Well, I think he could. According to the injury reports, they gave him a rest day on Wednesday, and then Thursday he didn't practice. It is very possible he could if he practices Friday. I don't know. That's a really good question. It's from my understanding, based on what I could see, it doesn't seem like he's out for a football reason or injury reason. It just seems like it's more of a personal issue. How much that affects the game, I can't really say. So that's a good question. Let's see what the notebook said. Yeah, we talked about Van Ginkel earlier, and something that I'm kind of disappointed about is Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips has been kind of like non-existent, and I need him to have like a breakout game tomorrow on Sunday. I really want to see him come out of his shell, start to put down the stats. He's only had this so far. He's only had half a sack and 6 solo tackles, right? That's all that he's had. In retrospect of, you look at Van Ginkel, for example. Van Ginkel, on the other hand, this guy has 4 sacks, 16 of them were solo, right? And he has 9 assisted tackles as well. So yeah, it's really, yeah, it's really. I'm really questioning what's going on with the defense. Not necessarily the philosophy or anything, but the players' minds. You had a mid-season last season. You were okay. I need more. I need you to show me something. You're in your what? Your third year. Your third year now. I need you to come out of your shell. Bring it home. Let's, bring the heat. Bring whatever it is you need to. Get the pressures. Make the tackles. Stop the run. I don't know what's going on. But then again, I was watching replaying a game the other day, and I saw that the Dolphins actually were using him in coverage a little bit more. That kind of threw me a little bit. But I don't know. This is a game I don't want to risk it. I want my defensive ends or my outside linebackers. I want them to play their game, play the tough game that they can, shut down the run, make sure you're providing pressure and tackle the quarterback if you have him in the hands. I need to see more. I need to see more of Chubb. I hope to see Van Ginkel, and I need Phillips to show up. That's basically what I need. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, his explosives in this is missing. I don't know if it's a mental thing or what. If you're just joining us, make sure you hit like and subscribe. I want to make sure that everybody does that, because we're going to be putting out a lot more content. I know there's going to be shows in the morning tomorrow, in the afternoon probably. It's 7:20 in the morning? Yep. Currently, let's see what the weather looks like in Miami. It's 77 degrees. High of 83 today, low of 68. 15% chance of showers this morning. It doesn't look like it's going to rain after that, but yeah. So, if anybody has any questions, put it in chat. We'll talk about it. Put in your score predictions. It's Friday. Put in the score predictions. So, any other games people are looking forward to? I know we got a big game for college football. Let's see who Miami's playing for college football. Hmm. Here we go. Let's see. On the Miami schedule, here we go. So after back-to-back losses, you now take on Clemson. That is a big game, regardless of what Clemson's record looks like. It's always a big game with Clemson, so definitely we'll like to see what they do there. Let's see what Ohio State is doing. We have a big game. I believe we're taking on Penn State, and that is always a big game in regards to college football. Yeah, they always are very tough. We'll have to see what they do or what they bring. Yeah, number 7 versus number 3. So that'll be a very interesting game. Could be a staple win for Ohio State. Their defense really needs to pick it up. Their offense has been kind of spotty because they've gotten some running back injuries lately, and the game really is prefaced off of the run. The Big Ten generally is. So we'll have to see what happens there. There was something I got on my Twitter feed for Hurricane fans. I saw that you guys got a new commitment. That might have been premature though, because I don't see anything on Bleacher Report about it. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see. People are asking about trades. What trades would you make? For me, I'm still on the limb that I still think we need to address our defensive tackle position. We do need a nose tackle. Just my opinion. I do think that maybe a linebacker might be good to have as well. I think we have enough corners on this team in different talents and we have talents coming in that we really don't have to trade for it. We can manage until those guys can come back. But I honestly think that defensive tackle specifically and linebacker are two positions to look at. Middle linebacker, primarily for the fact, or inside linebacker, I should say, primarily for the fact that we're lacking size there. That's why they keep putting Van Ginkel in that area, and he's done a decent job. But I think he's really found a home as a defensive end or outside linebacker. That's really where his home is at. So we'll see what they do. Another position they could get, I'm not going to say receiver because I know people are thinking that's all we're going to do is bring in receivers. But running back is a maybe. The other two I want to say are more possibly, but the running back position is a maybe for me. They were right about all of our running back room, and they were comfortable with it, and that's great. Now we have injuries. Are they still comfortable with it? That's the question. So we'll have to see what they do in regards to that. There's rumors, like I said earlier today, that somebody was pointing out there that that we might be interested in Derrick Henry. I don't know about that. I don't think anybody's going to trade for Derrick Henry personally. That's a big contract, so we'll have to see. There might be other running backs that might be available. I can think of a few, but we'll see. Let's morning, Papa Paul. What's going on, sir? How are you doing this morning? We do need a motor against Hurts. I agree. Dolphins #1 fan. What's up, man? Dolphins #1 fan. His prediction is 28-17 Fins. I like where your head's at. I do think we win this game. I think we have. Let me preface it this 1 second. We have the talent to win this game. We do. We 100% have the talent. We have the coaches. We have the fan base. We have everything, right? The only thing is execution. If our defense can execute where they need to in this game, then I have no problem saying that we're going to win 100%, right? However, it's not the offensive side. I'm not worried about the offense at all. I have faith in that. They will always score, but we need some way not necessarily stop. We need to slow down the Eagles because maybe one play or one series or two just to give that buffer where our offense can take the advantage and get the lead on the other team. That's basically how I'm seeing this. I'm seeing this as a managed game, but at the same time, I think it's going to be an offensive shootout from both teams. Just being honest. So, Dolphins number one, it says, I agree. 35-28, one scare game, Fins win. Yeah, one score game. That is correct. Or one scare game because it'd be really scary at the end if we're tied up. So yeah, definitely. I agree. I think I said something to the effect it was going to be like 42-38 or 42-36, something to that effect. I think I said it on Monday or Sunday night. So I think it was Monday. I said it Monday on the show. I said that. So we'll see. We'll see. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. There's about 15 people watching. Put your questions in the chat. The last 30 minutes I got here, I said put your questions. Let's bring up a topic you guys want to talk about. We'll talk about it. Put it in the chat. You just reminded me I got to go back to YouTube because for some reason StreamYard doesn't show all the chat for some reason. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Again, put your questions, whatever you guys want to talk about. Let's talk about it. Put it in the chat. Up this morning. We'll start it off. Here, I'll start a topic, and you guys put your answers in the chat. If we were to trade for a running back, let it be Derrick Henry or whoever. Actually, let's take Derrick Henry on because I don't think that's possible at all. This is my opinion. I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't think anybody trades for him personally. So we're going to take that one away. Let me ask it this way. If you are going to trade for a running back or bring a running back in, who is that person? Let it be trade or sign. Who is it? Let me see who's available first for free agents while you guys are doing that. Put whoever it is in the chat. All right, let's see who I got here. I'm waiting for my free agent tracker to update. Here we go. Okay. All right. So I have the list of free agents, but I want to see who you guys said we could trade for. So let's bring that up here. Let's see. Okay, so Dolphin Don says, I'm Pat for running back, but there is a guy out there I could see, Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs is a player I like, Dolphin Don. I'm not going to lie. I liked him. I said if there was one of the free agent running backs prior to them being tagged that I thought we could get or should get, he was one of those guys. He was actually my top one, to be honest, for various different reasons. It's not just the type of running back he is, but also his relationship with other players that we have on this team, and in addition, his character. I love his character as well. So that's somebody we could get. Flava J agrees with you as well. Let's see. Yeah, he was definitely already ready to jump ship, to be honest. I know the Raiders, for example, he was holding out for a bit, so we'll see. I don't know what's going on with the Raiders. That team is just weird, to be honest. Let's see. Bill's fake crowd noise says maybe Leonard Fournette, but he really just wants our running backs healthy. I agree. I want HN back more than anything, bro. I really do. But I'm looking at it in the sense of I really predict, and I hate to say this, I'm knocking on wood, it doesn't happen. It's real wood here. I feel that there's more injuries to come with our running back room. And I've said this before, and I've said it again. This scheme, and it's been proven to be this way in other teams, such as a lot of the 49ers who ran the hell out of the scheme. Um, this scheme is very grueling to running backs. We have a 31-year-old starting running back who's killing it. He's killing it. Trust me. But at some point, an injury might hit that person, right? We already had injuries to start off to this season because you didn't have Savon Ahmed playing. You didn't have Jeff Wilson playing. So you were down to Raheem Mostert, HN, and then Brooks. And then you had HN go hit IR. And then you had Savon Ahmed coming in to supplement. And now you had lost Brooks. So now you're back to Mostert and Savon Ahmed. So, I'm sorry. Yeah, Mostert and Savon Ahmed again. And now you have Jeff Wilson coming off the IR. But the thing is with that is that these guys are all injury prone. And that's what I'm concerned about. Should we or do we bring somebody in, or do we think we have it lined up for, HN to come back and we're back to normal again? I don't really know if that's something to hold my breath on. I think because we know we're going to be in the playoff push, this is the time to maybe bring somebody in. Doesn't have to be by trade. There are free agents out there, and I'll name some of them off. A guy like Leonard Fournette in. I would bring him in for various different reasons. One, we kind of saw it versus the Carolina game. The 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. This guy is going to come in and get that 1 yard for you for the first down for sure. You could use him in the goal line as well. And look, we're a passing team as well. Oh, we're going to run the ball, but you want to put him in the play action pass. He's a good guy to have out there. He can run it in the flats and throw it to him. You could, 5 yards up the yard, turn around, catch the ball. The guy is a very good, prolific pass catcher as a running back as well. You also have some older veterans. You got Mark Ingram here. He's a free agent. Giovanni Bernard. Ronald Jones. He's kind of a dual threat running back as well. Passing game and rushing game. I'm surprised to see him on this list. But he does say he is available. I don't know about Rex Burkhead. He's not a guy I was really that interested in. But there's some other players here that I think that we could look at bringing in. But I think you're going to start seeing us build the depth, right? We restructured some players recently, and there's 1 or 2 more players I heard that we could restructure, add some more cap space. And I do think that you're going to see us bring in some players over the next 2 or 3 weeks, let it be by a trade or by free agent, to build some depth in key positions. Like I said, the 2 most important to me, in my opinion, is the defensive tackle and the inside linebacker position. I know David Long Jr. is like number 2 at his position. That's great. Van Ginkel has been kind of okay at his position, but I would like to just bring somebody in just so we make sure we solidify it. Doesn't have to be an all-world beater, but just someone that's solid. That's just my opinion. There's been also rumors, and shout out to Lewis, I guess in Tampa Bay country, supposedly we've had some conversations with them in regards to some of their linebackers. So we'll see what happens there. Andres Negron, what's good morning, sir? Good morning to you. Let's see. Daniel Hunter. That's somebody people are throwing out. Let me bring up him. Outside linebacker for the Vikings. Yeah, he's an option. He's in the last no, he has 2 years of his contract left. Oh, that would definitely be a big time, player to bring in. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I would be down for that. But then again, what does he play? He plays outside linebacker. Do we really need another outside linebacker? Who would you rather have, Daniel Hunter or Burns? Because that's another name that's out there for trade. Strengthen our O-line. That's an interesting take. Our O-line has been really good as of late, in my opinion. I think we have players coming off the pup list or IR or whatever. Robert Jones, I think, is going to be back. So that's good. We still have Teron Armstead that is going to come back later in the season. So I think it'll get bolstered because we're not looking at season-ending injuries when it comes to that. Yeah, Hunter would be awesome. Don't get me wrong. Um, let me look at Burns' contract because both of them are under contract. The cap hit for this season, if we were to trade for him, is like 28. It's 20 million. I don't know how much of that we would have to take on, but let's take a look. Brian Burns, see what his contract looks like. So right now, the cheaper route would be Brian Burns. Daniel Hunter would be way much more expensive. Brian Burns' 2023 contract, his cap hit is 16 point, about 16 million, let's say, just over 16 million, right? Whereas if you look at Daniel Hunter, he still has, after this season, 2 years left on his contract. So he has 2023, 24, and 25. 2023 is $20.9 million, right? Almost 21 million is the cap hit. And then you're looking at, let's see, 2024, it's 14.9, and then 2025, he's only about a $7.5 million dollar cap hit. So that's a lot of money. I don't know. I don't know that. I I don't know. We have that kind of money. I don't know. Dolphin Don says he'll be all over Burns because it's only 16 million. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Also, I think we have too much money tied up into our edge rushers. That is a good point. But if we were to make a Brian Burns trade or a Daniel Hunter trade, let's say hypothetically, if it were to happen, I think with that you're going to see another player go. So you're going to see a guy like Ogba go. Maybe we are able to unload his contract, right? So it almost evens itself out. So there's that. In addition to that, the big question for me is Jerome Baker. Is Jerome Baker playing to the level that we all thought he could, and we know he can at times? Is he playing to that level that you expect and want for his contract? What do you think we should do with him? Should he be on the trading block, or where are you guys at with Jerome Baker? Just curious. Andres Negron took the words out of my mouth. Get rid of Baker in a trade. There's some aspects of his game that I like, but he doesn't do it consistently enough. And that's what my concern is. I also sometimes he's not making clear-cut tackles. In my opinion, we're getting himself in position to make the tackles properly. This is my opinion and what I've seen. So yeah, I'm kind of with that. I kind of think we're paying them a little bit too much for what he's done for us, but I would definitely consider trading him. Maybe that might be something. But then again, who takes over for him though? That's another thing. We got David Long. We're already kind of shorthanded when it comes to inside linebackers and linebackers in general, because you got David Long, you got Van Ginkel. I think Tyndall's still on this team. Yeah, I mean we're kind of shorthanded a little bit, so we got to bring somebody in. Yeah. All right. So put your, make sure you hit like and subscribe, turn on notification bell. Put your put any questions, anything you guys want to talk about. Papa Paul, this is a good point, but I heard recently you did. Let me bring that up. In the last game, I think he suffered a back injury, but I don't think he's on the injury report, so it may not be that big of a deal. You can pull that up. Yeah, this was 5 days ago. Baker suffered a back injury during the third quarter and exited the game. The Dolphins later described Baker as questionable to return. Let's see here. When he exited, Baker was up to 4 total tackles, including 3 solo stops. The 6-year linebacker has been a significant part of the Miami Dolphins defense thus far. Big loss on the side of the ball, missing any time. So you're right. You don't see him injured too much, but he was injured in that last game. I don't really think he's on the injury report either. Let me bring that up here. Yeah, so he's probably fine, but I don't know. I just think that there's better talent to be had at that position. So yeah, it's not you. He has been kind of low energy, in my opinion. I used to remember seeing him running all over the place, but it may not also be like it might be done on purpose. It might because like basically, from my understanding, what people have described is that the way that Boyer and even Coach Flores was running the defense, they were giving all the assignments out, saying you need to do this, you need to do that, and whatnot. And in this, Vic Fangio's defense scheme, he's relying on your smart, like how smart of a person you are in the game, and play off your instincts. And he may not be responsible for doing this, that, and the other, and being all over the place like he was before. So that might be a case. It may not be. It might be completely off base. I'm just going what people have said. So let's see. I like Baker, but I agree he's just not like he was. Yeah. Trust me, I'm an Ohio State fan. I should love this guy, right? I thought he was amazing at Ohio State. But I don't know. He just hasn't been he hasn't been playing with the energy that he has previously. I'll agree with that. So trying to see if there's any up-to-date news. Sometimes stuff comes out. Let's see this. This is according to Chris Kaufman. When Teron Armstead came back from injury earlier this year, I asked whether Kendall Lamb should continue to start on the other side. Everyone made that about Austin Jackson. It wasn't. Raised the victory flags. Jackson has improved tremendously, but Lamb has been special. He puts up a what looks to be the offensive tackle pass block win rate rankings, and Kendall Lamb is number 1. That is not a joke. Kendall Lamb is number 1 with the pass block win rankings. So that is pretty impressive. And this ranking is according to... Yeah, he doesn't say. He doesn't say who it is, but it's... Yeah, in 63%... I'm sorry. In 63 plays, he's won 61 times. He's been double-teamed 38% of the time. Impressive. Kendall Lamb has been very impressive. And don't forget about Austin Jackson, too. He's been very impressive, holding it down, to be honest. For any of you Giants fans that might be watching, Giants just lost another offensive lineman. Shane Lemieux is out, tore his bicep during practice Wednesday. So you guys are just losing offensive tackles all over the place. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see here. Just trying to see if there's any. The other day, it seemed like breaking news was coming out in the morning. I was trying to see if there's any more. Hmm. Yeah. All right. Nothing new right now. Yeah, probably. I agree. Jackson has improved tremendously. Timothy Webb, thank you for bringing a question. Sorry, I was looking at a different screen. Do you think Chase Claypool will play this week? Yes, I do think he plays this week. He has to get on the field. We traded for him, what, over a week ago? Guy got to play now. Guy has to play now. I think it won't be a huge role. I think they'll slowly bring him in, probably in the run game, certain run style plays where it looks like we're running, or maybe in the short yardage game. I think they're going to bring him slowly, and he's going to work his way up. The It's going to be like the hot hand. The hotter the hand he has, the more they're going to put him in. That's what I think. But the guy is big, so I expect him to be in the run pass blocking, uh, stuff like that. Like not pass blocking, but the run blocking position for sure when it comes to receivers. So the guy is a big guy. I was like, damn, that's Claypool. So yeah, I'm saying we get to see Chase this weekend. I think it happens. Yes, Papa Bowl. Eichenberg has the highest PFF grade. Yes, he does. I know it was against Carolina, but let's not discount Carolina. Carolina does have a good front four. They do. Their rushing defense is not that great, but they do have a good front four. And they were held up by Eichenberg and company. So it's definitely an improvement. Um, I'm really like people are like questioning like, well, what do you think? What happened to him versus Buffalo? Listen, that was the first game that he had to start in, and the Buffalo game. In all honesty, if you really look at it, that's a massive, big time game to be just thrown to the wolves. You have the crowd noise, you have the aura of what the Buffalo Bills bring as a defense if they do, even though everybody thinks they still have a top 10 defense. Um, you have all of that stuff going on for you. Um, and it can be very tough. It can be very tough. So I'm glad to see that we saw improvement versus the Giants, and then even more improvement against Carolina. So, yeah, I think it was really good. Yeah, this is his first year playing center. The guy never played center before at all. I mean, Connor Williams, from what I heard, played center like a little tiny bit, like tiny. But Eichenberg is like, I've never done this. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? And I really think he found his home. I'm very I'm relieved that this team found a home for him. And it's I hope they continue that. I honestly think, and does this mean that we don't re-sign Connor Williams? No, I think we do re-sign Connor Williams. Um, but I think that Eichenberg can be re-signed as well, specifically as the backup role and whatnot, and help him develop even more. So that's just my opinion. Ryan AP, what's good morning, sir? I haven't seen you in a long time. Newfoundland, how you doing? Trying to catch up to everybody to say hi to everyone. See if there's anybody I missed. Yeah. Haven't seen Heather Long today. She's usually here. Very interesting. Make sure you hit like and subscribe, everybody. We got 10 minutes to go. Put your questions in the chat. I got 10 minutes to answer questions, and then I got to go straight to work. Color didn't come, but that's okay. I'll talk to him later today. Hopefully, I'll have to call him. Newfoundland, I agree. Connor is back this week, but does he play? That's the big question. Do they start Eichenberg over Connor? I know Panthers are not the same as Philly. Philly has a much stronger front four, in my opinion. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what they do. Um, can we hold it down? Yeah, I think we might be able to. Might be able to. I trust what our coaches decide to do. Um, and I know our offense is still gonna be able to bring it when they need to, you know? They might, they might even start the game with Eichenberg, but later on may put Connor Williams in, or maybe they start Connor Williams and they bring Eichenberg in. A couple different things that could happen. Whatever's decided, I stand with my coach. That's what I'm doing. Do I think we get an interception this week? Um, oh, all right. I usually don't do these types of predictions, but I'll make a prediction. Javon Holland gets an interception towards the end of the game to end the game. That's where it's gonna come. Whoever gets the interception is gonna be towards the end of the game, and it's gonna kinda be one of the plays that ends the game, essentially. That's my prediction. So, um, this offense that Philly is bringing is very well coached. They're very similar to us. How we run our offense and stuff and their scheme and everything, very similar. Similar style players, super fast, good, receivers. They have a hell of a tight end, so I'm kinda worried about that. I need someone to be able to cover Dallas Goedert, when needed, and their run game isn't a joke. Our run defense needs to come play, right? They need to shut down the run, force them to throw it. So, what's gonna be really big is Devonta Smith, who has a hamstring injury. Does he play this week or not? Today, we're gonna have to see if he practices. I know he missed one and then was limited. If he practices today or if it's limited today, I don't know. We'll see. Who's covering AJ Brown? Now that's a question. That is definitely a question. Probably X. I'm gonna say if X plays, it's gonna be X. Um, Kader Kahu maybe on Devonta Smith. Maybe. Devonta Smith, if he plays, he's fast. He's super fast. Um, and I think we need someone that can keep up with the speed. Now, X I like, but he has a groin injury. So I kind of look at the next guy, which is more of a bigger receiver guy that he doesn't necessarily have like the top speed, but definitely a force to be reckoned with. That's why I have him on AJ Brown. But I could go either way, to be honest. I just kind of because I'm managing injuries at the same time. I kind of think X would be on AJ and maybe Kader Kuhu um Devonta Smith. But then again, I don't know. I don't know. There's that's going to be a big question. Who do we have that comes in that fills the need? Cam Smith is there too. Does Cam Smith get a start? That's a question that we should have right now. And Papa Paul already brought it up. I was about to call you Papa Smith. That's funny. Listen, we need to use Cam Smith at some point. I know everybody says that it's a maturity issue or he's too young and raw or whatever. Listen, I'm over that, bro. The guy every practice had PBUs, no problem. Had one interception, I think, during training camp. The guy got burnt once during preseason. Once he got burnt. All right. What's holding this guy back? Need to get this guy on the field, bro. I really want to see this guy. You need to start giving him some chances to at least show you what he has. Mm-mm-mm. 5 more minutes. Put more questions. Any updates on Nick Needham? This one's probably from El Capitan. How you doing, sir? From I understand, Nick Needham, there was an update, Vic Fangio, and I read this earlier. He's still being limited in practice. So he's still practicing, according to the injury report. He has limited practices the last 2 days. However, Vic Fangio says that has alluded, not necessarily blatantly said it, that he still needs a little bit more time to acclimate from coming back from the Achilles injury. So I'm not holding my breath on Nick Needham yet. I think we may not even see him until the bye week possibly, or the game after the bye week, which is that Raiders game. That's the same game that I think Ramsey finally comes back as well. Um, and I think that's where our playoff push starts. I think it starts that game versus the Raiders, and we steamroll through those games toward into the end of the season. Those are the games that I'm more worried about currently. Now, I wanna win. I'm not gonna lie, I wanna win either this game or the Chiefs game or both. That would be ideally, of course, but I also don't wanna re-aggravate injuries that are gonna make us suffer in the second half of the season either. So, that's where I'm at. That's a good perspective, Newfoundland. He says Fangio doesn't seem to trust young dudes. You're absolutely right. His, defense, if you go back and look at players that he's had that played for him, really have been veterans of the game and are really, really smart. They have good football IQ, high IQ when it comes to football smartness. And what I'm talking about is they understand the game, the philosophy. They instinctively already know where to be, where they already can project where the plays are coming from. That's you look at all of his corners that he's coached over the years. I'm just gonna be using corners as an example. High end football IQ. Um, a lot of the times you don't see those players being young players, whatever. They were already veterans or already been playing the game. What's up, Keith Smith? Long time no see. It's good to see you. Yeah, I kinda think they're gonna use Apple in there as well. You know, we got Eli Apple here still. It'll be really interesting what we see. Eli Apple, I really think Cam Smith needs to at least get a shot somewhere. I mean, you didn't even see him versus Denver. In Denver, we were killing it. We were killing it in that game, and you don't even get to see him? That I don't know. It's weird. At least if he did play, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. So, um let's see, I got 2 more minutes. Come on, ask one last question. One last question, 2 more minutes. Hit the like button for me. Hit the like button. Waiting for the last, question here. Come on, one more question before I gotta go. Please. Do, 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 do. All right. Well, it doesn't look like I'm getting any more questions. I appreciate you all. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Appreciate everyone coming out. Friday, right? Friday. We haven't had top of the tailgate all week. Sorry, life got in the way. Got a lot of, like I said, this is a busy time of the year for me. For work, it's really busy as well. Anybody that knows what I do for work, this is the time of the year that starts getting really busy for us. Anybody that works in the healthcare system. Papa Paul wants to know, when did we start Ramsey? I answered that earlier, Papa Paul. I'll answer it again. I honestly think that will come versus the Raiders. I think the Raiders game is when you're going to see a start for Ramsey. So watch out for that. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell. Do I think we win the game? Of course. We're the Dolphins. We can win every game. I honestly believe that we will win every game until I'm proven wrong. Once I'm proven wrong, then of course, I'm proven wrong. Ooh. F Money has a good question. You should have asked me this earlier, but I'll answer it real quick before I got to go because I really got to go to work. F Money, do I trade for Chase Young? I would. But then again, I'm biased. I'm an Ohio State fan. I love me some Chase Young. I think he has the motor and pressure that we haven't seen personally from Phillips yet this season. And I said earlier in the year that Chase Young may have looked for a trade, and I thought we should have done it. In the offseason, I said that. So I would consider it. But do I really want to give up a first round pick? Because I know that's probably what they're going to ask for, right? I don't know. I kind of want to keep my first round pick so my coach can finally get a first round draft pick of his choice. You know what I mean? Under his era. Let it be on the offensive side or defensive side of the ball. It doesn't matter. But I love me some Chase Young. That would definitely improve our outside linebackers and defensive end group. Definitely. I still think defensive tackle is really where we need to look at, and the inside linebacker. But that's just me, though. That's me. Anyway, thank you all. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. Check out the other shows today. Check out the primetime shows, drive times, and everything. We appreciate y'all. And with that, I will give you guys adieu. Fins up, everyone.